Oh, I just can't wait for hot No, I don't.
That was
really
it.
know it.
Okay, never said. Did you think of that?
Never said do this. No one say be there. No one saying stop that. No one saying see here. Free to run around all day. Free to do it all my way.
What up? Congratulations, guys. You made it to episode 10 of Hot Mic. Holy shit!
I love it. 10 is a number of completion. It's a number of completion. I don't know if you can hear me over that.
I pulled it out.
I love it. I just feel in a very, liberated mood.
Yes.
Yeah, freedom is in the air. Do you feel it?
Yeah, man. It's been an interesting couple of months, couple of weeks, and we are back. And we got a good show, yo. I'm Billy, by the way.
I'm his beautiful, amazing, brilliant, powerful wife, Sheba.
All that, yo. That's who she is.
Yeah.
And yo, let's get into it. We're talking about the Nelk boys today. The Nelk boys had an interview with the war criminal monster, the present day Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu, and they tanked it. They did a terrible job as the Nelk boys are they have a podcast where they do pranks and they talk about sports,
Who do they prank?
No, they from the very beginning, they prank people. They go out into malls and that's what their podcast became famous about. And then they've blown up so much and they started getting to the political space. They interviewed Trump. They interviewed a couple of controversial people. And then they end up with Benjamin Netanyahu. And this is where we are now. You know what I'm saying? And so the nonsense is there. And then we'll also talk about Jubilee and the Handala. Handala, which is the ship, the Freedom Flotilla that has recently been kidnapped.
I'm thinking about Ashton Kutcher on Punk'd bringing Netanyahu on.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's so interesting. That's so funny.
Doing
and
a prank on him, yeah.
And
is he getting pranked, Netanyahu?
Yeah. I mean, the Nelk boys are a prank show.
Yeah.
So it would be funny. Yeah, exactly. They're
I'm just envisioning.
We have the Palestinian child. No, it would be terrible. No, it would be a massacre.
I'm envisioning whatever they did to him. He freezes up and he just kills everyone.
Exactly.
It's someone's neck.
Israeli humor is so crazy and insane and racist, and it's so earnest. They don't even see it. They think they're hilarious and so smart, and it's what I see. It's gallows humor, but by the executioner.
Exactly. There's sort of a lack of awareness of what's going on.
Yeah.
What's actually the political context and how people are seeing it. It's the jokes about killing babies and stuff.
It's crazy.
Let's get into it, yo. Let's get into our first joint. Whoa. Thanks for that. No boys. Also the Full Send podcast. Whoop. Jesus. We good?
All right. There was a lot of comments and a lot.
Was the Nelk boys?
No, there's not the Nelk boys.
Oh, it's Myron.
It's not Myron.
No.
These guys are way better than Myron.
Not me.
Split screen.
I have male blindness, so it's I don't know. Is that Barack Obama?
Oh my goodness, great. This is Abba and Preach, yo. And Abba and Preach, they've actually had a big beef with Myron. They've been going at each other back and forth. And
they're probably there could only be one guy who looks like that Myron guy.
But Myron's a clown, and this guy he's been critiquing Myron from the jump about their whole model about women and all that stuff.
I would hate if there was a Sheba, but manosphere. She was really
you'd have to go at her.
Centered men.
You'd have to go at her.
Yeah, I was
excuse me.
That would suck. I would be what? Come on. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
So they're actually going to be talking about the Nelk boys in this, but I thought they did a good enough job. Let's watch the first 3 minutes here. Okay. All right.
Full send right now. I'll full send right in that.
We get the opportunity to sit down with one of the most powerful people in the world, a world leader.
Yeah.
And we get to ask him some stuff. We're going to ask him what we want to ask him. So,
did you ever ask yourself why he wants to talk to you? Yo, I'm just a YouTuber, bro. I am feeling some type of way. You know, because niggas coming for me for my takes. Oh, ABBA, you know, nobody has no responsibility, blah, blah, blah. Did you see the Nelk boys interview Benjamin Netanyahu? Bro, I am telling you, we are definitely going into a brand new space where YouTube content creators are becoming propaganda pieces for every foreign government and our own. Fuck, man, I'm just a YouTuber, bro. Now, if you don't know who the Nelk boys are, listen, these guys are regular Joe Schmoes. You're talking about like 80 IQ bros who spend their day talking about alcohol and, you know, oh, it can fucking Conor McGregor beat up a bear, you know, like shit like that. Yeah. Fine, right? They're Canadian. They're like good old small town Ontario boys. It's hockey, girls, booze.
Before we get into it, if you guys have not tried out the Prize Picks app, we love watching sports and we love to fire on sports at the same time.
And fire on babies, just like Israel. And you can too with promo code NELK. Full send in your ass.
Just pause there. I think they did. I think that was a clip before the interview. They have this Prize Picks.
Yeah. What is? I don't know.
Thing. It's their sponsorship thing. So
is it like a sports betting?
It's a sports betting app, and it's their sponsorship thing. There's no awareness about, you know, you're interviewing a war criminal in the middle of a genocide. And your whole sponsor, it's all about the sponsorship model. It's all, you'll see it more.
Get the bag.
It's all about getting the bag. It's all about the clicks. So
also, it's, what did I say about him? Oh, he's got the Andrew Tate lisp.
Oh, the guy. Oh yeah.
It's like
he's from Canada. I don't know if that. I don't know if that matters.
I think it's like the content. If you have like hateful, dumb, you know, white supremacist content, you like have this weird lisp that comes with it. Like, I'm sorry, I hate to come for the people with lisps, but yeah. Like that's a strange thing I just saw.
Just to clarify, the Nelk boys are milquetoast empty. There's not.
I've never heard of them.
Thing about them. So just you said the hateful content.
Oh.
Like they're just fun, like college kids who are now
That's
in their 30s.
Crazier.
The thing is that they're in their 30s now. So part of it is they look really young and they're kind of like goofy and they kind of, I don't know. And so
he looked like when you put a little kid in a suit for church.
Exactly. The
like it was like,
collars
what
on.
is that? It's just like the front part is a suit, but it's like just like a little.
These guys are multi-millionaires by now, and I don't know why he had that weird suit.
They don't know how to use money.
Awkward.
Money and wealth and power is wasted on white men in general, but certainly white men.
But yeah, their podcast is benign at best, and now, but they just
now it's going over to evil.
All right, here we go.
Full send right now.
Watch a sports game anymore without firing on Prize Picks. It just makes watching the game so much more.
Because, you know, before we, you know, I mean, buddy up with a war criminal, want to know if you want to do some sports gameplay. How you feel about that?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Two L's in one day.
Well, that's what goes hand in hand. Anyway.
Facts. I'm pretty sure if you go to PrizeBets right now and you use promo code NELK, you can bet on Israel in this conference.
This is fucking nuts.
This is so crazy. We are so not qualified to do this.
No, this is.
Then don't do it!
Someone wrote, "We are not qualified for this. We should not be doing this. Maybe listen to yourself next time."
Here we have the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. He's about to walk into the podcast right now. This is probably one of the most, if not the most controversial podcast we
for sure the most
have ever done.
Yeah.
And that's why they do it.
It's clout chasing. It's one thing it's clout chasing if you want to meet an NBA player. When you're about to do propaganda for a foreign government, I think it's okay for people to be like, what the fuck is happening?
And by the way, I want to say too, I'm not claiming to be an expert on this issue or anything like that. I've kind of just probably like a lot of you guys that, you know, you read stuff online, and I feel like on the internet now too, it's like you don't even know what's real anymore. Like you read shit and it's like you see a headline and it's like, is this true? Is this not true? So I see so much stuff about, you know, what's going on in Israel and, you know, Iran and Palestine. And to be honest, I just really don't know what is going on there. So
right. So you feel like there's a lot of propaganda lying online. So you want to sit down with a man whose job is to do propaganda for his own country and his own interests.
Let's pause there. Yeah, let's pause there.
Imposter syndrome does not stop white men. That's really something we have to like adopt for ourselves.
Yeah. You adopt, like, yeah, even that word imposter syndrome, yeah, I mean, it's just, it implies your lower thinking about yourself. You don't think that you fit in the room, but you gotta think about yourself. And this is what motivates me, is what I'm saying. When I look at these people who sometimes I despise some of these people. The Nelk boys, again, typically are milquetoast. I think they're just kind of goofy and made a poor decision here. Some of these guys are like a Ben Shapiro type. I actually admire the fact that this clown developed and really walks into, like, I'm going to defend genocide. I'm gonna use my language. I'm going to cover up for things and tell people an obvious set of lies. I'm going to wear my religious symbols on my person so I look and you can presume the best about me because of my religious presentation. And then I'm going to say terrible shit. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's really, like, weak and spineless to do this, like, infantilized, adult baby. Like, I don't even know what is going on in Iran. And what?
Read.
It literally, like, okay, so you have access to all the world's knowledge at your fingertips and you don't understand what the significance of interviewing Benjamin Netanyahu in July of 2025 is. Like,
we're switching screens. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really dangerous. It's a continued devolution, a backwards regression on of journalism, and the thing is that they're just following the big boys, frankly. Like, they're doing what the cable news and the big corporate media have done. They know, and they'll say, like,
you got to applaud Netanyahu when he comes in the room. Don't arrest him. Don't, treat him like the war criminal he is. Treat him like what an honor. This head of state came to my lowly podcast. Like, you dum-dums.
And of course, yeah, again, first off, it's just the awareness of the forces at play.
Yeah.
He's
like, so much fake news. I'm like, so you bring on Benjamin Netanyahu.
More fake news. Let me do more
Benjamin Netanyahu.
And you'll see, like, Benjamin Netanyahu makes several false claims. He asks him about the starving children, and he says, well, we tried to bring food in, but Hamas keeps stealing the food. And then they kind of laugh with him on that, and they kind of shake their head and they nod and they move on to the next thing.
He also said the lie of any burned, beheaded Israeli children, like,
on October 7th, right? Which is the one focal, which is
lots
the only
of
day.
heads of state keep. Biden repeated that objective lie.
Several Congress people in.
That's going to be political suicide, politically fatal. And, like, socially fatal. We're gonna have to exile all these people.
I mean, the number of people who have signed up to be,
exiled,
patsies and useful idiots is really interesting. Netanyahu wants a younger audience. They're failing on the narrative control stuff. Entirely failing.
Younger audiences have eyes, and most of them have brains. So, but
yes.
like they
and
found
they're not attached to the same bullshit that a lot of the older people are attached
exactly. To. They're like I'm impressed with the powers that were. They're good at finding like the dumbest of every like identity group, of the young people, of black people, of gay people. They will find like the stupidest, most easy to trick and like dangle, like a little exposure, and they're like, oh, okay, let me put on my big boy suit. It's like, oh my god.
I see. That's the thing, yo. Are they even the dumbest? Yeah, like some of these motherfuckers are just. It's
these
just
guys,
the
they
money.
seem very dumb.
That's what I'm saying. It's just they came up and whatever. It's like it could get dumber. That's the thing I'm always scared about. Whenever we go, oh, it's the dumbest. This shit could get dumber. We don't even know if that's the fucking rock bottom. These are just the guys that made it somehow, where they had millions of followers already, which is why Netanyahu chose them to be on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they show up and do a terrible job. The only question that they pushed back on Netanyahu on, the only question was when they asked him about Burger King versus McDonald's. And he said he preferred McDonald's. And they were like, oh, shit. What the fuck? That's the worst take.
McDonald's is the one we're boycotting.
McDonald's is the one we're boycotting. Yeah, I don't, kind of want to stay away from that trash food anyway. McDonald's and Burger King, but
boycotting it because it supports a terrorist army is most important right now.
Yeah, check the boycott list and be very clear.
BDS.
See, all of that stuff is not at play. None of that stuff is on the table when he sits across with Benjamin Netanyahu. The same is true when, sadly, when Dana Bash sits across from Benjamin Netanyahu, as she did 6 months into the beginning of the genocide.
Yeah.
No full discourse about the history, about the political moment, the political manipulation, just this kind of, I think in the interview she said to him, she said, "You are not Hamas. You are Jewish people and you're good people," like him specifically. And she mentioned his Jewishness as a marker for his goodness and why she takes everything that he says seriously, And that's bad, right? That's really bad because she's in a journalist context. She's on this branded platform called CNN where people go to understand what reality is.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking podcast, But now the podcasts have taken over and they don't even like
they're modeling
what they're doing. And they're not taking into account like you gotta like actually sit seriously into these things, like in these buckets. You gotta go, I'm in the journalist bucket. We're gonna really try to tease out the story that we're gonna come away with. The viewer at the end has to come out with a decent enough map of reality based on the words we used.
Or at least it just reveals what journalism has become in the West. It's just a performance that the powerful and wealthy use to trick everyone out of their money and into perpetual war and exploitation.
Perpetual war and corporate favorable taxation and all this nonsense. And then at the same time, they're unfunding PBS and NPR on the premise that it's too ideologically driven, it's too political somehow, that it's related to the government somehow. Yeah. All these private entities, they come up with a mythology that those are okay. And of course, it's just, that's the goofy world that happens when people are not fucking serious, It really pisses me off, frankly.
When we build a world that's built on myth and like...
Yes. Big goofy myths. Now we'll go to a split screen on this. The second journalist-related
my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s.
Hold on.
All right.
This Jubilee thing. Hold on. Split screen. Bang, bang, bang.
My family lineage is settlers from the 1500s. So
you don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
You're not.
What are you talking about?
You're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
My first claim is Donald Trump is pro-crime and pro-criminal. Donald Trump is defying the Constitution. Immigrants, overall, are good for America. Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing. I'm Mehdi Hassan. I'm a journalist. I'm the editor of Zeteo. And today I'm surrounded by 20 far-right conservatives.
My family lineage is settlers from the 1500s. So
you don't look...
Back from that. So that was actually the promo from that company, Jubilee, YouTube-based video content creator company, right? And their thing, they have several debates. And again, a debate, it's about discourse. It's on the verge of journalism again. They're not debating colors or debating what's the best movie out of Hollywood. They're engaged in a discourse about what reality is. And for this particular one, it's Mehdi Hassan, who's one of our better journalists in this country for sure, and 20 conservatives. But it ends up being a complete shit show. And there's been a lot of backlash from that episode. As you see, one of the dudes who claimed proudly to be a fascist, he got fired recently after the episode, and then had a GoFundMe or whatever, raised double what he hoped to raise as everyone story. It's heavy in journalism. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's an entertainment get the bag thing. I think for black culture generally, the journalist space is this place where, again, people like Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, some of these clowns. What I see in there too, if you go and watch the video, a lot of these dudes and women are, not only do they have terrible right wing views, but they're dressed up as archetypes. There's a dude in there with this like old like hat. He looks like a Persian salesman or something.
Do you remember
and like a mustache?
Do you remember the pickup artist in like the 90s, like Mystery? It's like they were like, you have to have a piece of flair, an interesting hat, or like a weird mustache.
Exactly.
He looks like he like found his like older cousin's like DVDs of
that.
The pickup artist, and he was like, and I mean, it worked.
There was another woman in there who looked like an Ann Coulter kind of chick. There's another dude with the suit. There's a very handsome, like a typical American white boy, Superman looking like guy with the dark blue suit and a red tie. And they're all performing these archetypes. They have a sense. They come to questions of fascism. They talk easily about the left and the right. There's a discourse and they're quick to answer questions. You know, Mehdi Hassan asks a question. Some of these questions require thought, especially if you haven't thought about them before. But they know, they've been trained, they understand, they're trying to get visibility to maybe get invited on to Fox News or to News Nation or maybe join those idiots in the Daily Wire. So they know how to quickly snap back instead of thinking, instead of engaging.
Being antagonistic is just the thing. So it doesn't matter.
Oh no, baby, we missed all this. Oh, our mics were low that whole time. Oh no. Let me just say this real quick. What I noticed with those guys is that a lot of those guys they play these archetypes. They look. The one dude with the he had the big hat and the mustache. And what were you saying with that?
He's like the pickup artist. Do you remember that show with like Mystery? And they're like, you have to have like a piece of flair, like an interesting hat and a cool mustache.
Yeah.
And then you just gaslight the woman you're trying to trick into a date.
That's how you stand out. That's how you get attention. And these guys are all trying to get attention. They're all there. That guy had this mustache. Another person looked like she was dressed like an Ann Coulter. There's another kind of like this sort of Fox News. Like he was dressed and ready to be, an anchor for Fox with the red tie. And they're skilled at the performance of quick response, catchphrase, buzzword, gotcha questions, gotcha responses, mimicking the Fox News, the successful celebrity Fox News people that they see. Where are the adults? What are they teaching in journalism school? What are we teaching in our culture is an appropriate way to engage in discourse to try to like understand each other and understand the world, right? These kids are simply the product of the terrible adults.
Yeah, they're just trying to impress their parents and make their parents proud. And all of our parents have taught us that you're supposed to perform. They've taught us to have this like obsession with celebrity and actors who are literally, their talent is in pretending to be people they are not and telling you a false story and believably telling a false story. And we've been taught that is the highest value. And so, these kids understand that and they're doing it well and they are getting the results that they thought. They are getting the attention. They are getting the money. They are getting the,
because that's there. Yes. This attention economy is there. It's real.
Our attention is our most valuable thing. That's why these programming, they literally do programming so to capture our attention.
Yeah.
They want captive audiences. They are trying to because they recognize how powerful our attention is. And that's why it's so important for us to be sovereign in our attention and really
and really to we gotta have the discernment to know about the forces at play in the room. I want to say in both rooms, right? With the Nelk boys, Netanyahu, or with this room of Jubilee, all these people, right? If you're someone at home, if I was a younger person, I have so much insight now, and that's why I want to impart this. You watch this stuff, if you're watching the Nelk boys interview Netanyahu, if you don't have a proper context for understanding that the Nelk boys are doing this because they believe in controversy, they have their ideology, their philosophy, the thing that has brought them success is turn a camera on towards contrast and controversy. And Netanyahu's there because he's looking for young audiences to make his genocide look cool and reasonable. So when they speak, they're not creating reality. The words they're saying is not painting a picture of reality. It's their own interest creating some weird, goofy thing. Plus, like, he claims to be an authority. They're like pretending to be little kids who don't know anything. You're not getting it. It's not a journalism product at the end of the day. And it's a propaganda product. And with Jubilee, same thing. The forces at play. Mehdi Hassan is a journalist. Mehdi Hassan is a grounded and intelligent historian, grounded in history. The kids in there are all trying to be seen and famous, as we said. Jubilee is a corporate YouTube channel that's trying to grow. They actually started, this debate series started off with, I think, a much better intentions, and they would cast reasonable people debating atheism versus religion, debating abortion and other things from a place of genuine discourse. I think what has come now, it's like the 17th season of The Real World.
It looks like Wife Swap. They're just like putting the like least compatible families together just for entertainment value. And like as Mehdi Hassan, like, he is the adult in the room, and he's responsible to like come into a room, see a bunch of goofy children trying to get their 15 minutes of fame, and it's his responsibility to walk out. I'm like, I'm not going to, I know what you guys want. I know we're trying to perform that this is reasonable. This is what a journalist does. He sits around a bunch of unreasonable children and, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like it, Yeah, it's 17th season of
The Real World. They're casting, they go out there, the producers are actively casting the worst people.
Exactly. You with the hat. You with the mustache.
You with the hat, you with the mustache. Plus, they send in tapes. They say, with the worst views. You have, not only do you have the hat and the mustache and the whole thing, but you're also like proudly like, like.
They're like, if someone were to call you a fascist, what would you say? And yeah, exactly. If
they're trying to build their brand around that,
perfect.
And it's all whatever.
Yeah.
And there's just this sense of like, all publicity is good publicity. I'm just trying to stand out. And it produces the worst kind of stuff. So I'm really proud of, I think there's been a really good backlash against Jubilee. People are talking about either canceling them or one way, whatever that even means at this point. They're just like choosing not to tune into Jubilee, unsubscribing. Because yes, they're showing you what some of both examples are showing you, like how sort of the mythology of journalism is playing out for us in the worst ways. And it's showing up all over the place. Like, they're actually really affecting our reality through our inability to like engage in a proper and good discourse about the truth, which is what the fuck journalism is supposed to be. So but these things are not going to go anywhere. They're going to keep going. There's just, we have to, as a viewer, got to be like, that's a goofy kid. That's people try. That's clickbait. That's blah blah blah. And like, get better. Like, refine our thing. Don't eat trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't eat candy and trash. Like, it's not helping you understand. Like, what's the benefit? The Nelk boys aren't even that like entertaining. I don't even get it.
The goal is to make money. They're rich. They have money. That's what we've been taught as a society. The most important thing is to make money. So you do whatever you have to. I mean, say whatever you have to.
Why are people tuning in to watch dumb shit?
Because we're taught to like give our attention, our valuable attention, to people with money.
Yeah. And
so, like, if anything, I think like a positive slant is, you have genuine authenticity. It's showing that, like, I think a lot of people like are afraid to be themselves because they're like, oh no, someone will hate it, or it'll offend, or someone will talk negatively of me. So that doesn't stop the worst people in the world from being themselves. Like, so you can't let that stop you. Like, if anything, this is your permission. Don't let the space of authenticity, of visibility, of using your voice be co-opted by these terrible racist children.
Filled in by your vacancy, right? The absence of
because
your
you
genuine...
don't want to receive the, criticism. You don't want people to think you're a bad person or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Stand on it, at least. At least these children, like, are willing to, because they're willing to receive the derision, they actually receive the money. They receive the attention. They receive the belonging that they were looking for.
That's right.
So
now, I think if they're really, most of them aren't, right? But if they're really mature and capable and with a goal of truth, they'll evolve, or they'll have to evolve. You know, they'll have to like. But some of them won't. Some of them will be, you know, let's like a couple of there's like this dude who got the fascism thing. Let's say Fox News picks him up.
Why would he have to evolve?
He wouldn't have to evolve. He'll just keep going down this line, and he build an audience, and they get creative. It's all fucked.
The older generation is big on this really unnatural stuntedness and lack of evolution. Like, change, evolution is the natural thing. We should be having more understanding of things, but like, they keep elevating, the powers that were keep elevating people who are stuck, who are stunted, who are willing to not evolve, who are willing to do this caricature of, you know, what they want, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And purely for spectacle.
Exactly.
Purely, that's what I'm saying. That's why the whole thing back to its genuineness. We are our model for journalism, our model for content creation has to evolve to a place of like grounded in like, we want to see genuine authenticity.
Genuineness.
We want to know what reality is.
I think every space like needs that, like, you know, because journalism, politics, our family systems, you know, entertainment, all of these things, like, we have to just be more genuine and authentic with ourselves and each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Applause for that. Applause for that. You're at the halfway mark, baby. You want to switch over to the Handala? Here we go. Our second story is the Handala.
Handala.
All right, so the Handala Freedom Flotilla. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there is on the first one that sent the Maldine, it had Greta Thunberg on it, and this most recent one has Chris Smalls, head of the Amazon Labor Union, on it, and
Jacob Berger, the comedian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And a few other people as well.
Yeah, and so on their journey, like, there was sabotage. Someone like filled the Israelis filled a tank with acid, and so some of the crew got like burned. And yeah, so the Handala, interesting about the name. Handala is a cartoon character that is for years, I think since the 70s, it's been shown as like a representation of like the Palestinian, you know, refugee.
Handala. So this is interesting. They actually, someone updated it to, not sure, but this is the Handala here.
Yeah. So the cartoonist was assassinated by Mossad in London in 1987. So this boat is named after that character, that's the artist.
Crazy
That's
stuff.
crazy. That like, and so after that, Margaret Thatcher like expelled the Mossad agency from London. It's you know you're on the wrong side of history when Margaret Thatcher is like enough, too violent.
There is almost no reporting on this story. And when Sheba told me this story, it blew my mind. And it is true, but you'll have to find it and do some work. And what's funny is that, you know, the challenge is this. Hold on. When people want to talk about that part of the world, especially those in the mainstream, the discourse they will very quickly tell you about the shortcomings of Islam. They would tell you about the attacks on free speech and how we have to protect women and this and that. They will tell you about how the cartoonist, the guy who drew the Prophet Muhammad and some of the violence that came from that, and how irrational that is. Because in the West and in our values, and Israel will claim this too, that they value free speech, but that is not true.
It's crazy. They create a whole fancy secret agency to assassinate people who criticize their government. It's crazy.
So to assassinate a cartoonist in England
shows the power of art.
In our like I've worked in these media places. They would immediately, if a Muslim or someone from the Muslim world had perpetrated that, they would say more evidence of like our lifestyles are incompatible. They completely are backwards. They don't get it. They don't know how to do democracy.
We
They
would
don't know.
link arms with Trump and Netanyahu to show solidarity against the caliphate that's coming to. I was like,
yes.
wow, white people are crazy. Judeo-Christians are insane.
all of these things, you called it these words, caliphate, intifada, all of these words.
What do they call it? An Islamist? Was that what are they going with these days? Islamist terror? Like,
yeah.
Christians are crazy.
All
Christians
of
are
these.
insane.
I mean, there is a thing called, so Islamist is an act. That's why that the word in particular, even in Islam, people will associate. Islamist relates to a very hardline.
It's nothing compared to anything
related to
the Judeo-Christians have done.
The caliphate and all these things. But here's the thing. The people in Israel are talking about greater Israel. They're talking about they've been expanding their borders from the beginning. They assassinated leaders like Yitzhak Rabin who were peaceful leaders trying to negotiate a two-state solution. They assassinated their own leaders. They assassinated this cartoonist and there's so many examples. It just came out. Netanyahu apparently it's now open. It's no longer a secret. Netanyahu used, with Bill Clinton. He used Monica Lewinsky and called Bill Clinton and was using what they knew as leverage for this and that. There's so many examples of that, but they never come to the 9/11 is an open, it's a discussion on what's going on there.
They did it.
October 7th, for sure. I mean,
of course,
the most surveyed and most
surveilled place
in the world.
All of the adults are military trained. Stop it.
But yet we get that discourse and that ability to label it what it is completely removed. The media works hard to make sure you never call things what it is. So that's what the Handala is and refers to.
Yeah, so that's the name of this freedom flotilla that is trying to get aid to the Palestinians who are being starved illegally and exterminated by the Israeli terrorists who are about to kidnap these people.
Here it is.
Okay, if you're just joining us, I just want to show you these pictures that have come through to Al Jazeera just in the last few minutes. The pictures you're seeing on the scene are of people on the Handala Freedom vessel. This is a boat that departed earlier this week from Italy. The aim of the boat is to break Israel's siege on the Gaza Strip. So the boat was intending to make its way to Gaza and drop aid, much-needed aid, to the people in Gaza. So what has happened, we believe, in the last few minutes, these are not live pictures, but they have come through in the last few minutes, is the boat has now been intercepted by the Israeli military. It's difficult to tell exactly what is happening, but you can see there members of the Israeli military there on the boat. These are the pictures that have come through to us just in the last few minutes.
So you see the pirates boarding a ship, trying to bring aid. It's just showing that nonviolence is not the proper response to the Israeli terrorists.
There needs to be an international, serious military commitment
to help Hamas.
To help
Hamas are the only people using the appropriate means to
help the resistance. Obviously, there's resistance to this stuff. I mean,
literally,
the people talk about the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. It was resistance to a massive, violent military, displacement and murder of innocent people. Routine. What's the word? Routine. Systematic. That's what we're seeing. Again, as we talked about how much the media works to prevent our ability to give accurate narratives. You're seeing it. The fact that people are still not using the word genocide in the mainstream on CNN, not often enough. New York Times published something, then they published another idiot who waffles on this and says there isn't.
like everyone's still trying to be okay, it wasn't cool for the Jewish people to, try to fight the Nazis. That's what you sound like. That's what you sound like, you crazy people. Trying to frame it okay, well, this started with Hamas attacking the Israelis who were just trying to party. Stop it. Grow up. Yeah. Grow up. This is crazy. This is the most disgusting thing we've ever seen. And
it's wild.
There, the Zionists are not going to get away with it. The Israelis are not going to get away with it. And anyone who helped them is going down. You've, you know, it's political suicide, it's social suicide. It's like being a super Nazi.
It's really showing, you know, I grew up where cats would talk about slavery and everybody was quick to talk about what they would have done. And even people had critiques of our ancestors about how long it took and what they would have done. And then you see this is the thing. Oh no, it's different. We're not the one. Well, you are not directly in this moment have your thumb on other people's. Or you're not the one being oppressed, right? In this moment as an American, you are actually, your tax dollars are the oppressor. You are the oppressor now.
Yeah.
You know, and again, if you think about it, you ask yourself, what should white people have done in the era of American chattel slavery and Jim Crow? You have a bunch of energized stories about what white people should have done.
And a lot of white people love that, like, oh, my ancestors didn't own slaves and they treated, like, yeah, y'all just went around with slave owners and wanted to be accepted by slave owners. So you made sure slave owners got their way. And that's what you're doing now. You like have accepted white supremacy, the supremacy of white people. And so you want to help them get away with it. You want to help them maintain a world system in which they get to kidnap people and put them in a concentration camp and steal their home and just lie about it endlessly. And we're all supposed to be polite and go to work and like not do anything different. It's just
the endless lying is
goofy.
A really interesting point to me.
It's
guys.
so
and I think with every
offensive
day that passes and the what is journalism turns into history, we have a deeper and better way to map this out and see the amount of lying that's going on.
Yeah.
While there's about murdering, and you see Netanyahu. I mean, he benefits every time this gets more and more complex. Okay, then he bombs Syria, bomb Iran, start a thing over here. Now the discourse about Gaza has to expand to talk about now they're annexing the West Bank, things with Egypt. The goal is to be as muddy, as confusing as possible. You know,
which is crazy because it's like, how is that confusing? It makes it clearer that like, okay, the bad guy is Israel, the people who keep murdering and expanding their murderous campaign and lying. And so like,
yeah,
it's not difficult. I've told you, like, the Israelis, their brains have been so broken and corrupted. They've been so groomed into this like inhuman, dehumanizing, you know, how they treat the Palestinians is what they've done to themselves. They've dehumanized themselves so much that like they want someone to stop them. It's like a suicide by cop. It's like they know they're wrong and they're like, stop us.
Yeah. I mean, the big they is always a question. Like, what are we pointing to there? And
who are the people that need to be stopped? Who are the people who are starving everyone? Who just illegally kidnapped a bunch of people trying to bring food to people who are being starved?
Right.
By whom?
Right, the Israeli government.
And the soldiers. I think too, like the Israeli government wants us, and like the West, the Americans who want to continue profiting off of this genocide and ethnic cleansing, they want us to like keep it to the Israeli government. Why? Are these people in the Israeli government?
Technically, right? Like a military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are their parents?
Yeah, I mean, especially this is a society that does conscripted military requirements for every citizen. I mean, so even the discourse, even from the beginning, from October 7th, the discourse around civilians, so many of the people that have come back, yeah, you go, oh, they were IDF. I'm talking about the hostages. This is an
Those
IDF
are
soldier. This is a former soldier, and this and that. It's like it's a lot of that. I mean,
a lot of them are current soldiers.
But the way the media again, because every time you talk about something, you have the choice of how do you talk about it? Who is this person here? What is the label? So it's like when they talk about black people, black kids getting killed in America, sometimes they don't refer to them as child. You know, if it's a white kid, they very intentionally use the word child and show a nice childlike picture to invoke the right energy and the right anger and support for the kid. And so here again, like when they want, it's a civilian. We should be upset about certain people on
Yeah.
October 7th because of these civilians, their status as a innocent civilian.
None of the Israelis are civilians. None of the Israeli adults are civilians. They're all settlers. They're all militants.
Consider that this is exactly the rhetoric and the language that they use for Palestine.
Literally.
None of the Palestinians are innocent. You know, even though none of these Palestinian people, these children, I heard over 1,000 of the recent murders were children under 1 in the last couple of months. Children under the age of 1. So
like, yeah, and like I saw a thing too. Hamas eliminated an Israeli terrorist, and they had a story about how he used to be the Gerber baby for like Israel or something, and it's like, oh, you know, Hamas kills former babies while, you know, Israel heroically kills future terrorists.
I mean, it's just
and we're
language.
all supposed to just
it's just language.
Like, yep. Oh, and who are we talking about?
Say that again,
Who
yo.
needs to be stopped?
Hamas. It's apparently they
Hamas
killed. Yeah.
cowardly, you know, cravenly, barbarically kills former babies, while Israel heroically kills future terrorists.
Now that's commentary. That's somebody. It's not a headline from a news thing. That's somebody.
No, but it was a commentary on
Right.
a headline that was showing this Israeli terrorist, this soldier, who was rightfully eliminated from the land he was invading. They were like, oh, Israelis will remember his face because look at when he was a baby, he was like the Gerber baby.
Y'all
are crazy. These people are so insane,
and they're pushing it as far as they can.
Exactly.
I mean, again, like not only are you not allowed to say river to the sea, but they are trying to sanction that guy for saying death to the IDF.
Not the Intifada.
Not murder's not wrong, but words are from artists. And in the IDF case, they're protecting military combatants, terrorists who are committing atrocities every day. They're saying that you're not allowed to say words about them. They're actually bills being signed and into law, not just in the United States, but in Europe as well. This is weird, confused, really active, like violence in terms of suppressing our language and warping our reality so that we root for the wrong things. So if you're paying attention, I don't understand how you're not deeply angered by this. Like this should push you, if you're confused about anything, and you shouldn't be confused.
Yeah.
That part should push you in the right direction.
Yeah. At first, I was like thinking about what we were going to talk about, and I was like, I had a moment of like, is it like, you know, are we talking about like Palestine too much? Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, this is the worst, most horrific thing, you know, it's our modern crime of our generations. And like, yeah, like the Israelis are paying so much money, and the West is spending so much money and energy to try to, you know, focus your energy on a specific narrative and on how to frame it. And so, yeah, like you have to talk about this at the very least all the time, as much as you can.
We really do. I mean, there's so many elements to it.
So many.
So
entrenched.
Yeah. DHS actually openly stated how they actively like are picking people pro-Palestine, people who have spoken up on this or are critical of Israel, as they consider who they deport, like the students, like that Tufts University student. That's wild stuff. And just the general fear and anxiety that they're creating in all of us intentionally with the media blackout, with the tone and the way our so-called professional journalists handle this issue. It's wildly terrible. And then you combine that with the Islamophobia. You see like Zoran Mamdani being pinned as this really dangerous person when the dangers are right in front of us.
Yeah,
it's not Zoran Mamdani.
The Islamophobia too, in the like they're slaughtering hundreds of Palestinians every day, and we don't hear about it. You don't hear a thing about it. That's also like how deep and horrific and virulent the Islamophobia is. It's crazy. It's going to be increasingly seen. You know, you just can't be a serious person and not have like grappled with.
I think that's the place we're in. Hold on, let me split screen or switch. I think that's the place we're in. Thankfully, I think we're not. I don't think the people have control. Like these guys don't have control of the narrative in the way that they think they do.
Yeah, you see them trying to like scramble, like the people who are very like pro-Zionist. They're very pro-Israel being able to do whatever they want, just without everyone like seeing it so much.
They want them to hurry up. They want to do it faster.
Which
they want it to be in the past. They want to have the genocide go more quickly.
Exactly, so we can,
So it's over. So there's nothing you can, it's like, and then you'll see the thing change. You'll see a different tack because every step of the way, the propaganda shifts, So very early on, it is Israel's very angry. They are the victims. They are the victims. They have to defend. Mm-hmm. Now it's obvious you can't call this defense in any way. So they've moved to other more hardline stuff. And then when they get to a point where it's completely, they've exterminated everyone, it'll be another thing. But all the while, and this is the dangerous thing, by attaching this stuff to Judaism, I mean, everyone knows this has nothing to do with Judaism, but they've made Jews very unsafe. They've made this whole thing about the anti-Semitism. People are taking these opportunities because of what Netanyahu says to attach every single thing that's happening, the manipulation, the violence, the absurd trampling on international relations, they can attach that to something called Judaism and attach that to all of their preconceived, whatever, their biases that they may or may not have had. And that's Netanyahu's fault. The other thing is to pin all that on Hamas is such an absurd, backwards violence again.
Yeah.
And when you know that Netanyahu built Hamas, Netanyahu paid it with the intention to, his goal was to have events like these where he could stay in power, where he can expand, because then Hamas does something, resists as a population will, and they then come in and commit all of this. I mean, this is insane.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, I'm sorry, Jewish people do not feel unsafe enough. Obviously, they're still comfortable letting Jewish people commit a horrific genocide.
The Jewish American population
if they're really like, Netanyahu is making us feel unsafe, then stop him.
See, that's the thing. We have to get to that. They won't even allow that discourse. We haven't even gotten to yet. I don't know what's going on. To be honest, I know that there's a massive debate and a challenge going on, Judaism and Zionism inside the faith and the community. There's a whole thing. I don't know who's winning. It seems in Israel that
I think we know who's winning.
The right wing people are winning for sure in Israel, in terms of their belief of kill every child and then go for it. In America, I'd like to believe that what's winning over here is first off, it's not even what's winning over here is a leftist sort of an effort to distance itself from the Israelis and from Netanyahu. What do you think? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing the Israelis still being able to do whatever they want, and we're still worried about Jews being unsafe, there's a horrific genocide going on, so I always say it needs to be an Inglourious Bastards too. It's like we're letting white people, American Jews in America, be infantilized, like the Nelk boys. They get to be oh shucks, I don't even know what is going on. Netanyahu comes and I just clap, and he says the Jewish people are in danger, so we just have to keep going to work, and you're supposed to be breaking up with your family if they're too quiet, if they're not very, vocally anti-Zionist and, doing whatever they can to speak out and stop this and help the Palestinians. If they're not doing that, if you're not, rearranging your life, if you're not losing your job, if you're not getting your safety and freedom threatened, then they're not doing enough. It's not going to be, history is not going to view it as enough. You're white people. You have a lot of power. And if you use it to go, I've got to just keep going to work and do it. I'm thinking of the people who work at CNN, who are not the anchors, but continue to go to work every day especially the Jewish ones, and just and keep taking that blood money and allowing the crime of the centuries, of the millennia, to continue unabated.
Yeah.
It's not
everyone has
going
to
to end well.
Everyone
for
has to.
the people who are on the wrong side of this right now.
Everyone has to step up in their place where they are.
Yeah,
that's part of your, I think, your philosophy, what you're doing in your personal life.
Yes.
And I think it's a brilliance to it, because a lot of people, if they can even bring themselves to do anything, it'll be some sort of like write a letter to a congressman. It'll be like some sort of distant effort to reach someone who's far away, who's powerful.
Exactly.
But it's like, okay, what in your life, in your family, in your community, at your workplaces, what are the ways that we are normalizing this horrendous truth? And what are the ways that you can disrupt that normalization? I think this is a moment that is challenging everyone to rethink everything about like the stories we grew up with.
Yes.
And the rethinking means it depends. It's going to feel different for every single person. If you're a Black American, if you're a Jewish American, if you're a Jewish Israeli somehow, if you're Palestinian oriented, Palestinian. What is it? Who are we? What do these words mean? You know, when I did a video a couple of weeks back where I lost friends with 3 people that I considered friends: a Black guy, a white guy from work, and a Jewish friend from high school that I knew from high school. Jewish and Ukrainian friend. We had to part ways because he told me he only wanted to talk about pleasantries. This is a quote. He only wanted to talk about pleasantries. I've known this man for 20 plus years. He didn't want to talk about Israel. He knows what's going on. He knows this is insane. He can see all this stuff. He's just going to quietly receive it. He's going to receive the benefit. He's going to take a trip to Israel. He might be involved in, who knows what's happening. There's going to be a whole real estate boom over there potentially. Like, he's excited. Or like, but he quietly, like, when Netanyahu asked, or there was like, everyone put the Israel flag up, you know, he puts the Israel flag up. But since then, it's been down, right? So now we're in this period of like intense violence. It's obvious they're doing a concentration camp. It's obvious they're starving these people. The images are coming out. This is the end stages of genocide. And now it's just quiet. It's like, don't talk about it. He'd rather not know. If anything, the little bit of talking he wanted to do was to focus on the idea that he feels unsafe and that there's a rise in anti-Semitism in this country. People are criticizing Israel too much. And that's just untenable. That's not what truth is, you know? And if you can't engage with me, and if we can't shape and form a truth together, then then I don't have room for it, you know? And I think everybody has to kind of like engage in that, because that's the only way we can get this right. You know,
if you don't want Nazis to win, you can't be friends with them. They can't feel safe. They can't, and like
violent supremacists.
Yeah,
I mean,
and also this guy's name is Boris, and he should feel like it is unsafe to be quietly accepting the benefits of a terrorist state like Israel. You should not feel like your job is secure. You should not feel like you can walk around New York City comfortably while supporting a genocide abroad. It's disgusting.
I mean,
you should not be able to be around children. It's obvious you're not able to be in our human family. You're not able to like operate. He expects to be able to benefit from genocide, and that you're gonna want to be his friend. What are white people doing? What are white people doing right now? What are, like, that's wild. That it's even like that's crazy. The audacity. The caucasity.
The caucasity. The challenge is like, it's not just, I mean, there's the range of people who support this thing range from like someone like Boris, who has this like personal attachment and an identity thing that doesn't absolve him, Germans had an identity.
Exactly.
Germans in the 30s had reasons.
Yes.
They had reasons for everything. They would logic a reason for it. And they needed to access something deeper to be better than that.
And it was popular to be a Nazi until it wasn't. And then it was a horrific shame that they were terrified of anyone ever finding out. And they would distance themselves and change their names. And yeah, that's going to be impossible for everyone who is a Zionist and a fair weather Zionist, a passive one, a liberal one. It's going to,
That's what we're seeing.
Be bad.
That's the thing. You just named 3 categories, and I find that interesting. That's what has to and will happen as we peer into this thing called Zionism. I remember at the start of this conversation, or start of the genocide, I was speaking to another friend who is in the military, and we were trying to, it was right after October 7th. And I used the word Zionist, and he got really awkward. And to him, people who use Zionist, it's a political term for people who are veering into anti-Semitism, and they don't want to say Jews, so they say Zionist. And his lack of understanding. So I had to give him the reality of why and how I'm using the word. But you're right. So I have people in my life who I know who are aggressive Zionists, who actually came on my Facebook and argued after October 7th that Israel should kill 30,000 Palestinians. And then 2 years later, I saw him recently on Facebook arguing for further. Like, it's now we've eclipsed 30,000 by far. The Lancet put it at possibly 180,000. And that he's like, we need more. We need to go into Iran. He was supportive of all this stuff. And then you've got the liberal Zionist who has this like pleasant vision of just a safe place for Jews, and is not engaging with what the government has become and what they're doing. And they just kind of passively, they show up. Like, people are posting, my friend posted about the Gaza starvation, and they showed up. This guy thinks he's a liberal. He's like, I'm not a fan of Netanyahu, but why are you so focused on Israel? Other people are being starved in Yemen and in Sudan. And I looked, and he's himself an Israeli affiliated person. And it's like, what makes you think that we need to look at another country? As Americans who are funding this thing and providing bombs and diplomatic cover for this thing, why should we focus on Sudan? What's your reasoning behind that?
Why is Yemen being starved also? Isn't that because it's helping, it's protecting the Palestinians? It's bombing anyone who tries to bring arms to Israel, and so the U.S. is bombing.
Is the U.S. bombing?
Starving them.
He's pointing to something else, because that's why he wouldn't pick Yemen if that was what he's pointing to. You're saying
he's not a smart person though. Yeah. He actually is just he like hears that like, oh, people are being starved. Oh, they're being starved here, and like, okay, we can play that game. Israel is connected to all of it. The U.S. is connected to all of it.
Yeah, there's a whole story that they don't want to engage with.
But they're really doing that. Like, look over there. Why are you talking about Netanyahu, the guy murdering and starving everyone?
Guy. This is a guy who will tell you that he's a liberal, he's a good person, he cares about Netanyahu's bad and all this stuff.
Then you have to stop him, or else you don't think he's that bad.
But if you talk about what Israel's doing, they line up to defend it. They line up to give an apology for it.
Yeah, they do. Like, military service is compulsory, but not that many choose going to jail for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Not many denounce their citizenship and burn their passport.
I mean, that's a brave thing to do. I mean, you're born into a society like that where all the norms are set as they are.
It's built on myth and
violence. Deepness. Particularly this particular stuff. I mean, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, the first century mythology around Israeli exceptionalism and all that stuff. It's
so barbaric.
All the stuff we critique about the U.S. exceptionalism, but like more acute and much more aggressive.
And built on lies. It's wild. And so, yeah, just seeing...
But you see a lot of the media and the Democrats are switching up now. A lot of people are showing up and pointing out that maybe we've hit some red line and things are bad, and
it's like, yeah, but like Biden, canceled or whatever UNRWA, the food program, the UN food program. It started like was trying to accelerate the starvation campaign. Like it's wild to see. Like
all based on
it's going to be so
currency.
embarrassing to see everyone trying to reason how okay now it's too and all like complicit.
They exploited the deep ignorance and goofiness, Islamophobia. I'm talking about in the United States, in the U.S., in Washington D.C. I've been in the Congress space and I've been in the media space. People, they're not engaged. Like these people aren't engaging deeply with these subjects. What they have is a shorthand. They shorthand this idea: Israel good.
Israel good. Anyone who's against Israel terrorist.
And so when Israel sends the press release or sends the guy from the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, shows up with his suit and he speaks in this measured way, this trained media thing where he claims this authority role and he claims this moral high ground, particularly as opposed to the raving Islamist thing that they've created. They just take everything they say.
Which is so crazy. They've totally manufactured this raving Islamist thing, and I'm sorry, that sounds like you were describing the Nazis. That sounds like you were describing white Americans as they genocided the natives and were the most racist slave-owning racist people. We keep seeing that the raving lunatics are white people in suits, calmly saying the most psychopathic, insane shit.
Starve them. They're saying
exactly.
In the U.S., our Congress people are going that far because they set the tone. When they go that far, all the kids go, "Oh, the congressman says that," and all the
not the kids, it's the boomers say it. The boomers have told themselves that this is this illusion, this thing is all fake, and it's
bought.
And the kids see it and they see what's going on and they're like, wait, what? And the older people are just they're bought and they're complicit.
It's embarrassing.
And it's wild.
Embarrassing.
Wild. Insane. And so it's again, the Handala is showing guys, we're not gonna be able to debate our way out of this. We're not going to be able to do the right thing, try to go through the traditional channels that we've been told are the appropriate ways to liberate, to interact, to operate, to use our power. We got to get a lot more creative, babes.
Yeah, and everybody has to, like you said, it's just a simple sharing of the load. Everything, from teaching the appropriate history, teaching media literacy, being mindful of this stuff. People are going to risk their lives and take ships and go to aid and know that they're going to be intercepted. And the goal is to make it there. But if they don't, they also have more evidence of what Israel is. It's a country that will pirate and kidnap ships to stop children from getting baby formula.
So if these wealthy people don't want to be included in the French Revolution style guillotining, they're going to have to use those yachts and pack them with food and get them to the people being starved. Otherwise, why do you have yachts? What's the point of all these things? I saw a thing too about witches and stuff, people who are doing all this magic stuff. If you're not using it to conjure food and aid and protection for these people, what's the point of your power? How are you using your power?
It's completely it's goofy. It's the subduing of the power. It's the not engaging with the power.
It's the infantilizing of the I'm just a Nelk boy.
And it's funny that you would go with the magic and things. For me, I'm going a different direction. When I think about the other friend that I had to lose is this guy, a black guy named Kevin, who's a capitalist, free. He calls himself a free thinker. He's all about free and the individual man who can create and innovate. But he's dead quiet on Palestine. In fact, he had to take the Israeli position. He defends Israel. He said to me, quote, everything Israel's doing in Gaza is right. And the reason he comes to that conclusion, even though he's a free man, is is that his capitalist framework requires that he takes the safe path.
The oppressor's path.
He can't challenge the people with the money and challenge himself and challenge his path to his personal sort of paycheck, get in the bag. And that's obviously wrong. So we're in this moment that is challenging us. It's challenging all of your philosophies. Like, you don't come to good results by following the power order.
No.
You have that's true in Germany in the 30s. And it's true now.
Even more true now.
So who are you at the end of the day? Who are you
Yes.
in all of this?
Yeah. And absolutely. I think that's what this whole episode was about. Like, you know, kind of everyone with their unique power and position and discernment abilities and, like, you know, how we use it. Yeah. So I just quit my job working with a bunch of attorneys at the Social Security Administration, a government administration, which is allegedly supposed to help disabled people. But I realized it's actually a bunch of attorneys with a very secure job refusing to say anything about the horrific violations of law and justice, the horrific mass disabling event that we're seeing. These powerful attorneys, most of them white, go to work and go, ha ha ha, did you see the baseball game? They talk about anything but stopping the horrific, you know, like, they're not having podcasts where they're talking about this stuff or grappling with language or...
You tried to bring it up at a thing. You guys had like a casual sort of employees Zoom thing to talk about baseball, I think, and Sheba found a way to, put Gaza on the table, and it got awkward real quick. It's really interesting.
Don't waste my time. Literally. Don't waste the taxpayers' dollars. Like, pretending everything's normal is literally what institutionalized Holocaust denial looks like, and how it operates. We have white people, like, in positions of power in these government agencies, using their power to dictate what's normal, to focus your attention on what they want you to focus on. And it's away from the screams of children. It's away from the criminals who are murdering children. And it's to the made up thing. Yeah. It's so sad to see. And I'm like, whoa, but who am I if I continue to take the paycheck along with these craven, spineless losers?
I see it as, and I'll say one more thing and I'll let you say the last thing and then we'll wrap up. But I see it as like a challenge of one of the premises of capitalism, and it is our complex capitalist society, is just the separation. In order to have like these industries that are focused on AI or on fashion or something like this, they have to be separate. Like, okay, so there's a genocide happening in Gaza. This thing, are we still relevant? Do we still, put fun clothes on and walk a runway? Yes. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna have our sponsors, and yes, that's happening over there, but we have to do our thing.
That's not related to us. Exactly. We have to keep this going.
So the challenge, though, and this is what artists are somehow, is like a glue of like reminding us that it's all actually one thing. As much as you want to separate and you make ketchup over there and you don't want to deal with the genocide, all you do is make ketchup, and you make a good living from making ketchup. It's like, yeah, somehow this is all really connected, because you're not just a ketchup maker. You're also a citizen of this country. You also, perhaps, your family's immigrants, things like this. So we have to sort of we have to fight against this desire. What your company with the Social Security wants to do is we handle Social Security claims, but like you said, you're also attorneys. You're also members of this government that is using our tax dollars to do all this stuff. So you made it very uncomfortable for them to have to square the fullness of the reality against the mythology of how they want to operate.
Yeah.
And that's what we're up against.
I was like, you're not gonna, you don't pay me to pretend. You pay me to do this job. Like, I'm not pretending to be a happy employee who doesn't, see all the people being slaughtered. Yeah. It's crazy, especially as attorneys. We just have, an extra responsibility. It's literally in our, certifying, authorizing, things. It's
Yeah,
you're the thing that supports a functioning democracy. Like
professional legal class. It's,
like you guys are uniquely equipped to be able to, see what's going on and like do something about it. And so just to see people pretending, I'm just like, how unbecoming, how like shameful and beneath us. Like, why are we spending all of our energy, our focus, performing, pretending everything's fine, and like, oh, I can't do anything about it. We're like literally infantilizing ourselves. The supervisor who I called out for being biased for ignoring the screams of children, his last name is Nanny. Literally, he's like a babysitter trying to keep us small babies who just talk about Taylor Swift and Bridgerton and baseball. And like when asked to talk about like actually using your power to talk about important issues, he goes, nope. we only talk about happy things. What a colonizer, oppressive, disgusting thing to use the power of your voice to pretend.
That's the constant struggle, I feel. And that's just, you can talk about it in several ways, but to me the constant struggle across it all is the struggle of the atomized, individualized, separate, cheese individually sliced versus like the thing which is a bit more, it's more complex, it's a bit more messy, a bit more challenging because you have to square your mythologies with it, and you have to and so the left is frequently this group of people, it's left, which I think is a word we need to jettison, left and right, that paradigm. But it's the left are people generally who are trying to deal with that complexity and the fullness, and the right are people who chop that off, okay, all right, and and they come up with political philosophies that just exclude with ease.
Yeah.
So
and with the genuine authenticity, with the kids trying to see what the adults, that's what I feel like at my work too. It's like Office Space, that movie. Everyone is like doing this performance of like, do you have those TSP reports? I'm gonna need you to. Everyone's just like pretending. It's like we know we hate this, but we still do this performance of like, let's do an icebreaker and like, and like you don't actually care about each other. You don't actually care about the world around you, and we're taught that like you're not supposed to be genuine and authentic. You're supposed to be performative. You're supposed to play pretend. And it's just so crazy that we've got these adults using their energy to pretend in service of like keeping this like horrific false paper murder machine going.
Ooh-wee. That's for that. Yeah.
So crazy.
It's a lot. We covered a lot of ground here on this one, but thanks for showing up again to this episode. Applause for you, and we'll see you in a week. Sheba's on a tear right now. She's doing 111 days straight of every day. She's on See Like Sheba. Look for her on YouTube. See Like Sheba. I think today's day 5, maybe.
Yeah.
Out of 111. So really interesting insights. Completely different than the show in some ways.
Yeah. Just devoting to myself and like whatever brings me joy, then I love it. I'm having so much fun.
Check her out.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
See you later.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Bye. Free Palestine. Woo!